A sport can change from one day to another with simple things as transfers, crashes or even entertaining moments. Today we are revising what would happen if Massa didn't crash at the F1 2009 Hungarian GP qualifying, where a piece of debris from Rubens Barrichello's car ran into Massa's head, hitting one of his eyes and making him lose confidence with the speed. This is where it all started. Massa didn't have that accident and he qualified P8 with a bad lap considering the yellow flags of Rubens' incident that caught him on his flying lap. Massa would have a good season, finishing P7 on the Drivers' Championship, making Ferrari overtake McLaren and taking P3 on the Constructors' Championship, since Ferrari wouldn't have underperforming drivers like Luca Badoer and Giancarlo Fisichella. Button still won the championship and Brawn won the Constructors. Massa's confidence would have been a lot better, making him closer to Fernando Alonso, giving him an opportunity to fight for the title, but as the mid-season came with Fernando being closer to the Red Bulls or the point of the season, Ferrari would give a secondary role to Massa, making him the wingman of Fernando. The fans noticed this favoritism to Alonso in races like Germany, where Massa led Fernando through, or Singapore, where Massa started on the hard tire to block Sebastian Vettel for a while, making Alonso build a gap to Vettel to win the race. Even with this secondary role, Massa took P6 on the Drivers' Championship, Ferrari stayed at P3 and Sebastian Vettel would have become the youngest champion of the world ever by only 1 point over Fernando Alonso. 2011's title fight would have been non-existent, since Red Bull developed a much better car than Ferrari and McLaren. This year would have happened the same way as in real life. This was Ferrari's year, with Massa staying at the driver 2 role. Alonso would have been crowned champion that year, making Fernando a 3-times world champion, as Massa would have been blocking Sebastian Vettel to take more points than the ones he got in real life. "2013 was a 2011 2.0, since Red Bull again developed a much better car than Ferrari and Mercedes this time, with McLaren going down the order. Ferrari was actually happy with Massa's performance, so he signed another 2-year contract, giving him a seat in the Scuderia until 2015. Williams' driver would have been Pastor Maldonado, and Lotus signed Kimi Raikkonen. This year, Massa would have been destroyed by Fernando in terms of race pace, but Felipe took the advantage on Saturdays. Hamilton took the crown anyways, making him a 2-times world champion. The comeback of McLaren-Honda would have been interesting for Fernando. He made the move to McLaren and Vettel signed for Ferrari. Raikkonen stayed at Lotus for 1 more year, and Maldonado stayed at Williams. Massa fought hard for podiums, taking 2, one in Germany and the other one in Malaysia, beating Bottas. Mercedes won nearly every single race as in 2014, with Hamilton taking the crown again, making the Brit a 3-times world champion, equaling Sebastian Vettel. It was time for Massa to leave, signing with Williams for a last year in F1. Maldonado got fired because the leaving of his sponsor and Lotus left the sport as Renault bought the team, signing Kevin Magnussen and Jolyon Palmer. Rosberg won the championship and got his first championship. Rosberg retired, so Bottas would have signed for Mercedes for 2017, so Massa stayed at Williams 1 more year until he eventually retired with 14 races won, 20 poles and 55 podiums. As you have seen, a driver not having a crash would have changed a lot in F1's history. Button would have the same titles as in real life, winning the 2009 championship. Sebastian Vettel would have 3 titles, 1 less as in real life. Fernando Alonso would have been crowned as the 2012 Drivers' Champion, meaning he would have 1 title more. Hamilton and Rosberg would have the same titles as in real life, because Mercedes weren't affected by Massa's crash. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked this content.